Welcome everyone to Harikrishna taking on Pavel Eljanov in round 3 of the Chennai Grand Masters 2023. The clocks have been started by the arbiter. Harikrishna has the white pieces. He has been unbeaten in this tournament after beating Arjun in round 1 and drawing against Predke in round 2. Opens the game with 1e4. Now Eljanov is super solid and had great success with his Berlin in round 1 against Parham. Will he play that opening again? Knight comes out to f3 and Eljanov goes with knight c6. I'm sure he's going to play the Berlin because that really suited him well. It gave him the win in round 1. Bishop b5, but Eljanov did lose in round 2 against Sanan. Knight comes out to f6 and now Harikrishna simply castles. In the game between Parham, the move that was chosen was d3, which is anti-Berlin, but here you're going into the main line. Are we going into the end game? Not really. Rook e1 is played. Now rook e1 Berlins are supposed to be quite sedate in a sense. They are very symmetrical, but they also lead to positions where white generally tries to put pressure on black. And this is always interesting when we have players like Harikrishna playing, because he is a very strong endgame player. Bishop f1 played here, and now you can see that there's only one open file on the board, that is the e file, and Eljanov takes on e5. So knight takes e5 played, rook takes on e5. Now black will most likely castle it out here. Yes. So slight problem for black is his knight on d6 square because it's blocking the d pawn. Meanwhile for white it's very free flowing development. Knight is coming to d5, pawn can move to d4, but you can see how Eljanov is trying to maneuver his pieces in a way that they come to their right spots. But Harikrishna, trying to make use of his lead in development, plays his knight to d5, attacking the bishop. If you get the bishop pair, that would be great. Bishop d6 hits the rook, and I guess you need to move your rook away. Rook e1 makes a lot of sense, and now I think it's time for the knight to be kicked away, and that's exactly what Eljanov does. He plays his pawn to c6. Harikrishna brings his knight to e3, so as to now free up these squares. In the past, Eljanov has played bishop c7 here, and I think that is what Harikrishna has come prepared for here. But Eljanov now goes bishop e7. So that's what top players do. They are always shifting, if not in the opening, but in the variations inside the opening. c4 played by Hari, and the knight comes to c7, preparing the move d5 here. And Hari goes d4. Now black has to be careful. If he makes a move like h6 just for the sake of argument, then d5 is already pretty strong. So is knight f5. So has to be careful. But d5 makes so much sense. You open up your bishop here, you hit the center, your knight is defending here. So it seems like black has kind of equalized here. But we'll see how this works out. So pawn takes pawn has occurred. And now if you take knight takes, then knight takes, queen takes, then the bishop is hanging here on e7. That's why Eljanov plays bishop b4, which is an intermezzo. And now bishop d2 played here by Harikrishna. Bishop takes on d2. And what is Harikrishna going to do here? He takes, queen takes on d2. So in a way, if you notice, black has got kind of a dream position here. He has a knight blockading on d5. White has this isolated pawn on d4, which is weak. But what Hari is banking on is his slight lead in development. You will see that the bishop on c8 is undeveloped, so is the rook on a8. So if white can start to put pressure with his lead in development, rook e5, fantastic move here. He's just trying to move the queen, and now you put your bishop on this diagonal so that black cannot get his bishop to e6. Exactly, bishop c4. and you will see that Harikrishna is making use of that slight lead, bishop d7, and now you can double on the e file. Although black can also counter it with rook e8 and trying to trade pieces, which will lead to some form of equality, perhaps, or you can already start playing on the queen side with b5. But Eljanov goes rook d8. It's like a slightly new idea. He wants to drop his bishop back. Queen c3 played by Harikrishna. Interesting move. He wants to maybe push the pawn forward. Bishop goes back to c8, and now the d4 pawn is hanging, so rook 1 e4 makes a lot of sense. But Hari pushes the pawn. Whoa, he wants to actually simplify the position. If you take here, he will take with the rook perhaps. But Eljanov plays b5, and Hari now sacrifices a pawn with bishop d3. I think for bishop b3 he was a bit afraid of c5, c4. That's why he played bishop d3, and Eljanov says, thank you for the pawn, Hari. Well, now you can take bishop takes b5. That's a pawn you can get, but maybe then black starts to push the pawn forward to d4. So Harikrishna first goes queen d4, and guys, now the b5 pawn is hanging, but also the one on h7, and then the rook can swing and the queen can swing, and it might be a huge attack. a5 played by Pavel. What an interesting move here. a5. Will Harikrishna now sacrifice a piece on h7? Yes, he does. Whoa, bishop h7. Is he going for a mate? But the bar says this is a bad move. Why is this bad? Why is this a mistake? Pavel simply takes on h7, and he's like, Hari, you seems to have missed something, because if rook h5, there is king g6. So Harikrishna moves his queen to h4. Now king g6 is impossible. It will lead to a mating attack. So he goes back to g8. And now what is he going to do? Rook to h5. He wants to checkmate him. That's his plan. And now if g6, maybe it's just a draw. Check, 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 check. However, Pavel goes for the move f5, and he's telling Hari, if you give a check, I'm running from here. Whoa, this is very, very interesting. And Harikrishna now goes for the check on h8. King f7. And now this is looking like black is winning. He's a piece up. Where's the attack going? Oh, he's a check. He has a check. This is important. He has a check. Because now if the queen can interpose here, that would be great. But if you play g6, there is queen h7, which would lead to a mating attack there. So g6, queen h7, king here, and queen h4. This is already over. King f7, rook e7, followed by rook h7. So he goes king f6. No, he had to play queen g6 to win. Pavel had to play his queen there. But after king f6, now Harikrishna goes rook h6 check, attacking the queen. The rook is taken. And now after queen takes h6, it's game over. It's a draw. It's a draw because now after king f7, it's queen h7, queen h6, perpetual checks. And the game has ended in a draw. Pavel Eljanov has missed a golden opportunity in this game to beat Harikrishna after the Indian Grand Master had made a wrong move, bishop takes h7. That was his chance, and offers a draw, and they agree. Hari shaking his head, asking Pavel, why didn't you play queen g6? Why didn't you play queen g6 there? Pavel looks stunned, and he's like, what? Where? And it's very, very surprising for him. And Harikrishna dodges a bullet here. He was lost, but Pavel Eljanov manages also to survive that attack perhaps, but he was winning at the end. Let's have a look at that key moment and try to understand a few nuances of the position. So in this position, Harikrishna had just moved his queen to d4, and Pavel Eljanov now played the move a5. This is a very, very interesting move because Pavel wants to get counterplay with queen b4. But the move has a deeper point. Now imagine if the pawn was played on a6, then we have this very interesting line. Bishop takes h7, king h7, queen h4 check. Now if queen h6, there is rook h5. So you go king g8 back. If king g6 already, it's mate in 2 this way. So king g8 here. Now you go rook h5, threatening a mate. And if g6, it's already a draw as we have seen. But white plays this, black plays this move f5. And the point is that here white can play for a win with rook e7. Threatening a mate, so the only move is to take, and play rook f e8, threatening a back rank mate. But now white has this defense with queen b4 saving it, and it's a good position for white. Now you understand why the move a5 is actually so strong, because now after bishop h7 that Harikrishna played, takes, and here when Pavel played f5, now rook e7 is just a huge blunder, because after take rook e8, there is a mate that is happening here. The queen cannot go back. And so with all of this problems and issues, Harikrishna had to settle for check, king here and check. And now Pavel made this huge error of king f6, after which the game ended in a draw. However, if he had played here the move queen g6, it would have been very difficult for Harikrishna to win here, or I mean he's lost, because after check, king up, yeah, it's just over. The best that white has is queen e2, rook h8, check, king g5, takes, king h6, take, and black has two rooks and a bishop for a queen, slightly exposed king, so white has drawing chances, but it might be very, very difficult for Harikrishna to hold. So firstly Harikrishna blundered with bishop h7, and then Pavel blundered with king f6. So it was a very, very exciting draw in the Rook e1 Berlin, and I don't know who should be more unhappy. Maybe Pavel.